We are excited about launching that this week. We're going to launch actually 7 vehicles this week with many journalists, analysts, and investors that are going to be here.
You know, average new car prices are still hovering, you know, I think 47,000 around there. That's just not affordable for the average person, and we saw that.
Right now, there's a brand new Toyota Tundra sitting on a dealer lot with a $12,000 discount. Not a used truck, not a damaged vehicle, a factory-fresh pickup that Toyota never discounts. Walk into dealerships across America and witness something that shouldn't exist. Rows of brand new Toyotas with price cuts so deep, they're practically giving them away. Your reliable Toyota might be the next expensive mistake that dealers are desperate to move before they go bankrupt carrying the inventory. They said Toyota's legendary reliability meant never having to discount, that you'd always pay full price for bulletproof transportation because demand never dies and quality commands premium pricing. They were setting you up for the biggest automotive betrayal in Toyota's 87-year history. It's not the individual dealers drowning in inventory they can't move. The antagonists are systematic forces destroying Toyota's reputation from within. MSRP creep, that prices working families out of reliable transportation, powertrain changes that spook loyalists who trusted Toyota's engineering for decades, and complexity that destroys the simplicity that built their legendary status. While you're making payments on what you thought was bulletproof reliability, they're manufacturing disappointments that would make their founders weep. V8 engines replaced with turbocharged 4 cylinders that sound like coffee grinders, naturally aspirated reliability swapped for hybrid systems that confuse mechanics, and pricing that makes a Lexus look reasonable. Meet Sarah Martinez, a Denver teacher who walked into a Toyota dealership with $45,000 cash for reliable family transportation. I wanted a basic Highlander like my mom drove for 200,000 miles, Sarah explains, staring at loaded models with $58,000 stickers. Everything on the lot was optioned beyond what I needed or could afford. The salesman kept saying, "This is what people want now, but I just wanted what Toyota used to build." For 40 years, Toyota meant one thing to American families: buy it, drive it, forget about it. Your parents' Camry hit 250,000 miles with nothing but oil changes and tire rotations. Your neighbor's 4Runner climbed mountains for 2 decades without seeing the inside of a repair shop. That reputation was earned through engineering excellence that prioritized your wallet over their quarterly profits. But something fundamental changed around 2018 that they desperately don't want you to discover. Toyota faced intense pressure to electrify their lineup, reduce emissions, and compete with luxury brands that were stealing their customers. The result? A perfect storm of complexity that's destroying the reliability reputation 3 generations of engineers built with their bare hands. Consumer Reports' 2025 brand report card delivers the shocking truth that Toyota executives pray you'll never see. Subaru ranks number 1 overall, Lexus number 3, Honda number 5, and Toyota has fallen to number 9. The brand that defined reliability for your parents now trails competitors they used to embarrass in quality surveys. 4 brands are now more reliable than Toyota. Subaru's engineering simplicity that actually works, Lexus's luxury-grade quality control, Honda's VTEC durability that mechanics trust, and Mazda's recent quality renaissance that puts Toyota to shame. When Consumer Reports ranks you behind Honda and Mazda, your legendary status isn't just damaged, it's dead and buried. 7 specific Toyota models are rotting on dealer lots like expensive produce nobody wants to buy. Each represents a different betrayal of Toyota's core values: affordability that working families could count on, reliability that lasted decades, and engineering integrity that put your needs first. The Tundra. $70,000 pricing meets V8 to V6 powertrain betrayal that truck buyers can't forgive or afford. The Tacoma. Mexican production quality meets premium pricing that makes a Chevy Colorado look like a bargain. The Land Cruiser, $60,000 for a 4-cylinder engine in a vehicle that conquered continents with V8 power and pride. The Sequoia, hybrid-only strategy meets ride-quality compromises that make a Chevy Tahoe feel like a Rolls-Royce. The Crown, identity crisis meets pricing that overlaps entry luxury sedans with superior materials and actual prestige. The BZ4X range anxiety meets charging infrastructure that makes Tesla ownership look convenient and reliable. The GR Supra, BMW engineering meets Toyota badges that fool nobody who understands what they're actually buying for their hard-earned money. Each failure represents a different way Toyota forgot that their reputation was built on giving customers more value than they paid for, not extracting maximum profit from every transaction. They chased market segments they didn't understand while abandoning the customers who made them successful. We don't let them cash checks on 40-year-old reputations while delivering modern disappointments that'll drain your bank account. If you want the truth about which Toyotas are actually worth buying versus which ones will bankrupt you with repair bills and depreciation, hit subscribe right now. We're building an army of informed buyers who refuse to get played by marketing departments trading on past glory while delivering present-day disasters. Share this video with anyone you care about who's car shopping. Let's stop these companies from getting rich off people who just need reliable transportation that actually works when they turn the key. Download the free guide, 17 Cars to Avoid in 2025, in the description. This isn't just a list, it's your armor against dealers who are getting increasingly desperate to move inventory that nobody wants, for good reasons. They took America's most honest work truck and turned it into a $70,000 disappointment that would make the original engineers quit in disgust. I'm standing in a Toyota dealership lot in Colorado Springs surrounded by Tundras that should be flying off the lot, but instead sit like expensive lawn ornaments that nobody can afford. The 1794 edition hits $68,000, the TRD Pro pushes $65,000, and even basic SR5 models start at $52,000 for what used to be affordable work transportation that contractors could actually buy. But the real betrayal runs deeper than pricing that would make luxury car buyers blush. Toyota ripped out the legendary 5.7-liter V8 that powered these trucks for 15 years without major problems, the engine that built their reputation for bulletproof reliability. In its place sits a twin-turbocharged 3.5-liter V6 that sounds like a coffee grinder having a nervous breakdown and worries every mechanic who understands long-term durability. Mike Rodriguez, a contractor I met at this very dealership, has owned 3 previous Tundras and kept each one for over 200,000 miles. That V8 never gave me a single problem, Mike explains, running his weathered hand along the fender of his 2016 model parked outside. Started every morning, pulled every trailer, never complained about anything. Now they want me to trust a turbo motor that's more complex than my first computer and needs premium fuel like some fancy sports car. When your work truck needs premium fuel and premium maintenance schedules, it's not a work truck anymore. It's a luxury vehicle disguised as honest transportation, and working people can see right through the deception. They moved production to Mexico while charging American prices, and the quality reflects exactly what you'd expect from workers making $2.70 per hour. I'm walking through rows of brand new Tacomas that should be the backbone of Toyota's truck lineup, but instead they're sitting here like unwanted stepchildren with discount stickers that would have been unthinkable just 5 years ago. The TRD Pro hits $62,000, the Trail Hunter pushes $65,000, and even basic models start at $43,000 for a mid-sized truck that should cost $35,000 tops. But pricing is just the beginning of this disaster that's destroying Toyota's reputation one truck at a time. Toyota moved Tacoma production from California and Texas, where skilled American workers built trucks that lasted decades, to plants in Guanajuato and Baja California, where quality control standards would embarrass a discount furniture manufacturer. Jennifer Walsh, a nurse I spoke with last week, traded her reliable 2018 Tacoma for a brand new 2024 model and immediately regretted the decision. "I thought I was upgrading to something better," Jennifer says, pointing to the dashboard that creaks like an old house settling. "The old truck was built in San Antonio by people who took pride in their work. This one feels like it was assembled by people who've never seen a mountain, let alone driven up one. The Mexican-built Tacomas are coming with $6,000 to $10,000 discounts that would have been unthinkable for Toyota, and customers are still choosing Colorado, Ranger, and even Nissan Frontier over the legendary Tacoma nameplate that used to mean something. They brought back an icon with a 4-cylinder heart, and enthusiasts are responding exactly as you'd expect when legends get neutered by accountants. The LC250 returns to American showrooms after a 6-year absence, and Toyota managed to ruin everything that made the Land Cruiser legendary in the minds of people who actually use these vehicles for what they were designed to do. Gone is the bulletproof V8 that conquered every continent and never left anyone stranded. In its place sits a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that sounds like a riding lawnmower and worries anyone who understands what Land Cruisers are supposed to accomplish. At $55,000 to $65,000, The new Land Cruiser costs more than the V8 model it replaced, while delivering less capability, less reliability, and less respect from the off-road community that made it famous worldwide. The turbo four-cylinder might be efficient on paper, but efficiency was never the point of a Land Cruiser. Capability and reliability were everything. David Chen, who's owned 4 previous Land Cruisers and taken them places that would terrify mountain goats, drove the new model and walked away disgusted. "I've taken my 100 series to places where cell phones don't work and the nearest mechanic is 200 miles away," David explains, standing next to his 2006 model with 280,000 miles that still runs like new. That V8 never complained, never overheated, never left me stranded in the middle of nowhere. Now they want me to trust a turbo four-cylinder when my life might depend on it. The used market tells the real story that Toyota doesn't want you to hear. Clean V8. Land Cruisers are appreciating in value while new four-cylinder models sit on lots with $5,000 rebates that nobody's taking. They forced hybrid technology into a full-size SUV while creating ride-quality compromises that'd make a Chevy Tahoe feel like a Rolls-Royce gliding on clouds. The Sequoia's hybrid-only strategy sounds progressive in boardroom presentations until you realize what Toyota sacrificed to achieve their fuel economy targets. The multi-link solid rear axle delivers truck-like ride quality in an SUV that costs $70,000 to $80,000. Every pothole, expansion joint, and road imperfection gets transmitted directly to third-row passengers who paid luxury prices for commercial-grade comfort. Compare that harsh reality to the Tahoe's independent rear suspension that actually isolates passengers from road harshness, or the Expedition's sophisticated damping that makes highway cruising genuinely pleasant for families. The Sequoia feels like a truck pretending to be a luxury SUV, and the pretense falls apart the moment you hit rough pavement with kids in the back seat. Lisa Martinez, a mother of 3 who test drove a Sequoia last month, immediately noticed the difference when she switched to a Tahoe. "My kids complained about feeling every single bump from the back seat," Lisa explains, shaking her head at the memory. "For $75,000, I expected luxury car comfort that would make long trips pleasant, not pickup truck harshness that gives everyone headaches. The hybrid system adds complexity without delivering the fuel economy benefits that would justify the compromises families have to make." Real-world owners report 18 to 20 miles per gallon combined, barely better than conventional V8 competitors that ride significantly better and cost thousands less to buy and maintain. Dealers are offering aggressive lease deals and financing incentives to move Sequoias, but customers are choosing American alternatives that deliver genuine luxury at similar price points. They created a sedan-SUV mashup that confuses every market segment while satisfying none of the customers they're desperately trying to attract. The Crown represents Toyota's most puzzling product decision in decades. A tall sedan that isn't an SUV, priced like a luxury car that lacks luxury materials, positioned between segments that already have better options that make more sense. At $40,000 to $50,000, it competes with entry luxury sedans that offer superior refinement and genuine SUVs that provide actual utility for families. Who exactly is the Crown supposed to appeal to? It's too expensive for Camry buyers who want reliable transportation, too weird for luxury sedan customers who expect refinement, and too impractical for SUV shoppers who need cargo space and capability. The raised ride height compromises handling without providing SUV capability, creating a vehicle that excels at nothing while costing more than alternatives that excel at everything. Robert Kim, a Toyota salesman with 15 years of experience selling cars to real families, struggles to explain the Crown to customers who walk onto his lot. "People come in looking for a Camry and see the Crown's price tag," Robert admits, looking genuinely frustrated. Then they ask, what makes it worth $15,000 more than a loaded Camry that does everything they need? And I honestly don't have a good answer that makes sense. The Crown's sales numbers reflect its identity crisis in the marketplace. Toyota projected 50,000 annual sales, but is struggling to move 20,000 units even with aggressive incentives that eat into their already thin margins. When your own salespeople can't explain why a vehicle exists, customers aren't going to figure it out either. They rushed their first serious EV to market while delivering range and charging performance that makes Tesla ownership look convenient and reliable. The BZ4X represents Toyota's reluctant entry into the EV market, and their lack of enthusiasm shows in every specification that matters to people who actually drive electric vehicles. 252 miles of EPA range trails the Model Y by 70 miles, charging speeds that would embarrass a Nissan Leaf from 2018, and build quality issues that grounded thousands of brand new vehicles for wheel detachment recalls that made national news. But the real problem isn't the recall that made headlines, it's the fundamental product that reveals Toyota's EV strategy was designed by people who don't understand electric vehicles or the customers who buy them. The charging curve peaks at 100 kilowatts when competitors hit 250 kilowatts, meaning longer stops at fewer charging stations for less total range that limits where you can actually go. Amanda Rodriguez, an early EV adopter who thought Toyota's reliability reputation would translate to electric vehicles, leased a BZ4X and regretted it immediately. "I thought Toyota's legendary reliability would make their EV the smart choice," Amanda explains while waiting 45 minutes for an 80% charge that should take 20 minutes. "My friend's Model Y charges twice as fast and goes 70 miles further on every charge. I'm paying the same lease payment for a significantly worse experience that makes me look stupid." Toyota's EV inexperience shows in every detail that matters: confusing controls that require a manual to understand, inefficient climate systems that drain the battery, and software that feels like it was designed by engineers who've never used a smartphone. Dealers are offering lease deals so aggressive, they're practically paying customers to drive these things. And even those incentives aren't moving the metal off their lots. Here are the red flags that signal you're about to buy someone else's expensive mistake disguised as a Toyota deal. Overpriced trim levels that exist purely to extract maximum profit. TRD Pro models with $8,000 worth of options you'll never use. Platinum trims with luxury features that break expensively after warranty expiration, and limited editions that limit your bank account more than production numbers. Protection packages that protect dealer profits, not your investment. Paint protection that costs $1,200 for $200 worth of film. Extended warranties that exclude everything likely to break, and gap insurance that's overpriced compared to your own insurance company's coverage. Long-term financing that turns affordable vehicles into financial disasters. 72-month loans that keep you underwater for 5 years. 84-month terms that outlast the vehicle's useful life. And payment structures that prioritize monthly affordability over total cost. Jennifer Walsh learned this lesson the expensive way when she financed her Tacoma for 84 months. "The payment looked manageable at $420 per month," Jennifer explains, "but I'll pay $35,280 for a $28,000 truck. That's $7,280 in interest alone, enough to buy a decent used car." For EVs like the BZ4X, verify charging infrastructure in your area before buying. That 252-mile range becomes 180 miles in winter conditions, and charging stations that work reliably are still rare outside major metropolitan areas. The cheapest financing can become the most expensive decision when you factor in total interest paid over the life of the loan. You now have the knowledge and tools to flip this rigged game in your favor, while Toyota dealers bleed money on inventory nobody wants at inflated prices. Your 3-step victory plan. First, identify which of the 7 struggling models actually meets your needs versus which ones are expensive solutions to problems you don't have. The Tundra might work if you need genuine truck capability, but the Crown makes no sense for anyone. Second, time your purchase during dealer desperation windows, end-of-month pressure, end-of-quarter incentive stacking, and aged inventory that's bleeding carrying costs. Your patience becomes their financial pressure when every day costs them real money. Third, negotiate from a position of strength using the aged inventory list, out-the-door pricing, and pre-approved financing that eliminates their profit centers. "I see this truck has been here 120 days. What's your best price to move it today, Sal?" Puts them on defense immediately. David Martinez used this exact strategy to save $8,500 on a Tundra that had been sitting for 4 months. "I walked in knowing exactly how long it had been on the lot and what their carrying costs were," David explains. "They needed to move it more than I needed to buy it, and the final price reflected that reality. You walk away with reliable transportation at a fair price, or you walk away with your money intact. Either outcome beats overpaying for vehicles that dealers are desperate to move." Toyota's discount desperation reveals a fundamental shift in the automotive landscape that affects every car buyer in America. The reliability reputation that justified premium pricing is cracking under the weight of complexity, cost-cutting, and customer betrayal. When the most reliable brand in automotive history has to offer massive rebates to move inventory, something fundamental has broken in their value proposition. This isn't just about Toyota, it's about the entire industry's shift away from customer satisfaction toward quarterly profit maximization. Every manufacturer is chasing the same playbook: higher prices, more complexity, and planned obsolescence disguised as innovation. The 7 models rotting on Toyota lots represent different failures of this strategy: pricing that exceeds customer budgets, powertrains that sacrifice reliability for efficiency, and identity confusion that satisfies nobody while disappointing everyone. But here's the opportunity hidden in Toyota's crisis. Informed buyers can exploit dealer desperation for genuine savings on vehicles that still offer value when purchased at realistic prices. A discounted Tundra might make sense at $55,000 when it doesn't at $70,000. The market is correcting itself through customer rejection of overpriced complexity, and smart buyers can benefit from the correction by understanding which deals represent genuine value versus which ones are expensive mistakes with rebates attached. Toyota's discount crisis signals the beginning of a broader automotive reset that will determine which manufacturers survive the coming consolidation. The brands that return to their core values, reliability, affordability, and customer satisfaction, will emerge stronger from this correction. Those that continue chasing maximum profit margins while delivering minimum customer value will join the discount graveyard with Toyota's struggling models. Watch for these trends that will reshape the industry: manufacturers abandoning complex powertrains that customers don't trust, pricing strategies that reflect actual value rather than brand mythology, and dealer networks consolidating as weak operators fail to survive the inventory crisis. The customer rebellion against overpriced complexity is just beginning, and it will force fundamental changes in how vehicles are designed, priced, and sold. Toyota's discount desperation is the canary in the coal mine for an industry that forgot its primary purpose: providing reliable transportation that customers can afford. Smart buyers will benefit from this reset by understanding which manufacturers are adapting to customer needs versus which ones are doubling down on failed strategies. The next 2 years will separate companies that prioritize customer satisfaction from those that prioritize shareholder returns at customer expense. Toyota's legendary reputation took 40 years to build and 5 years to destroy, a lesson every manufacturer should study carefully before it's too late to change course. Here's the question that should guide every Toyota purchase decision: does this specific model deserve the legendary reputation, or is it riding on brand loyalty that the current vehicle can't deliver? The 7 models sitting on dealer lots with massive discounts prove that Toyota's reputation no longer guarantees customer satisfaction or resale value. Choose wisely based on actual vehicle merit, not marketing mythology that died with the complexity revolution. If you know someone car shopping in 2025, share this video so they don't get fooled by badge worship that ignores reliability, reality, and financial common sense. Hit subscribe for more automotive truth that saves you thousands in repair bills and depreciation losses. We're building a community of informed buyers who refuse to get played by marketing departments trading on past glory while delivering present-day disappointments. Download 17 Cars to Avoid in 2025 in the description, because that Toyota badge might be hiding expensive mistakes that'll drain your bank account for years. The automotive reset is accelerating, and only informed buyers will benefit from the chaos, while uninformed customers get steamrolled by desperate dealers and failing manufacturers. Stay sharp. The legendary reliability you're paying for might not exist anymore, but the bills certainly will.